Hey, welcome back to Street Pigeon MTB. Today I'm going to be talking about Mudguards, but before you switch off thinking what can possibly be said about Mudguards that hasn't been said already, I want to tell you about a Mudguard setup that you might not be using that I think is really useful for a normal rider out UK trails.
Being a mountain biker is an expensive hobby. Buying bikes, clothing, equipment, protection. We then proceed to use all our expensive goodies in the harshest, roughest and dirtiest environments out there. The places we ride destroy our bikes and our clothing, so it goes without saying, anything that prolongs our equipment life is a winner. Mudguards are a relatively cheap and cheerful way of doing this, and there's a few different ways you can utilise Mudguards.
Option number one, when it comes to Mudguards, is running one on the front of your bike. This is a pretty widely accepted use of a Mudguard, not too controversial. Lightweight, easy to fit, come in different lengths, but the main thing is they will just keep mud and nonsense out of your face. Option number two is the more controversial one, the back Mudguard. Now the back Mudguard, although incredibly useful, brilliant at keeping mud off you, is controversial for mountain bikers because we are a very vain bunch. And for some, the look of the rear Mudguard is too much, makes it an absolute no-go. But I'm here to tell you there is a third option, not quite as good at keeping all the mud off the bike as the full rear Mudhugger, but for me, it's an option that still helps out with maintenance on the bike, still looks after the bike, and it's the setup that I run through the year. And this, of course, is using a smaller front Mudguard on the rear of your bike. Now, it's got a load of advantages. Before I tell you about them, I'm going to take the bike out on the trails, get it a bit muddy, and talk through why I think this is the setup for you.
So for those of you that follow the channel, you will know that Mudhugger have been one of my sponsors for a number of years. They are very kindly offering viewers of the channel a discount on their products. If you would like to see the discount code, head to the comments. I've pinned a comment with a code that will get you some money off a Mudhugger purchase. Definitely check them out. Love what they do, love their products.
So finish the ride, briefly going to talk you through why I think running front Mudguard and a small rear Mudguard is the solution for winter riding in the UK. First and foremost, have a look at the goggles. So you can see how little mud is actually thrown up onto the goggles. So if you've not got goggles, that's mud out your eyes. That's a total no-brainer for me. So you can see from today, although it wasn't super muddy, that is the sort of mud that's getting chucked up. So front Mudguard completely stopped all that nonsense getting up onto my face. But where the rear Mudguard comes into its own, if you can see here, this part of the frame is relatively protected. There's some mud through, but we don't get that loam shelf. Now you might be thinking, well, does that really matter? Well, if you've got a £4 bike or a £3 bike or a £2 bike or whatever, you're wanting to keep lots of water out of this place here. So even the practicality of cleaning one of these, it just makes total sense. So for me, absolute no-brainer. Use a front Mudguard, smaller rear Mudguard, gets over some of the concerns people have about the looks of things. Of course, if you can get over the look of the full rear Mudguard, it's definitely the version to go for. But honestly, that's my setup. It's the one I ride just all year round. Really practical way to solve a few of the problems we have when riding bikes. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions about the setup, just ask in the comments.